Apparently, even the Empire celebrates Halloween with a good hanging. This set here, the Creator 40697 Pumpkin, which was a gift with purchase. I received this one here with my Jabba's Sail Barge. I think is a nice looking set, and something I can do makes it more interesting for me, and that is put it in a Star Wars setting. Something little interesting for Halloween, not anything massive or a big MOC or anything like that, just a nice little dressy up bit of decoration for Halloween. I'm also going to use these two VIP Halloween fun add-on packs that come with, they were gifts with purchases in the past as well, and I've saved them, and I think it's absolutely ideal time to use them. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet. What I do know is I love the light in the pumpkin. I want to keep it as similar as I can. I might need to modify it slightly, but I want to add a few bits around it to make it a little bit more Star Warsy. I don't like the ghosts very much. I'm pretty sure that's going to be out the window. But anyway, I will update you as I'm going to see what sort of direction this is taking. So straight away I'm happy because I had in my mind, and I didn't know whether it's going to work out, but immediately it looks quite good, that I wanted to have a stormtrooper inside digging the pumpkin out with a shovel. And this first bit I've built is obviously where light brick goes, but look, it's completely hollow, so I'm hoping I can fit said stormtrooper inside there. Obviously he's also got to be seen from the outside. Again, I'm not sure how it works. There's obviously holes for the eyes and nose and mouth, so maybe it's something you just look in and see him building. And the other idea is to have a ladder leading up to it where he's obviously got in and dug it out. So obviously this pumpkin is much bigger than a minifigure, and that's the whole point. They're digging it out for, well, I don't know what for what reason at the moment, and I'm just working on it and making it up as I go. So yeah, anyway, I just needed to update you with that bit. So it's looking good so far. Here's a bit better view of the inside. I've taken off the back piece and you can see that most of it is 3/4 all the way around with this by 1 brick, but there is this plate that sticks out, so that's the first thing that can come out. And then maybe I'll have to look at reducing these walls or doing something else, maybe not having the back wall. It all depends. This light brick is quite chunky, so it's just trying to work out a way to just get enough space to stand him inside with the light brick. This is built now, and as you can see it lights up, which is fantastic. Quite a nice little design. I don't know about this ghost, it's just a bit pointless really for me. But as you can see inside, it's hollow, as I said earlier. What I need to try and work out now is how much of this I can hollow out even more to get my stormtrooper in there. So here's said stormtrooper with a little shovel, and really, as you can see, he will stand right where the light brick goes. So what I need to try and do is make this a bit less of inside in there so I can still fit the light brick in, because it'd be a shame if I couldn't fit the light brick in. Yes, I can see it, but the light brick is part of it, so I'll have to find a different way to work that out. That's what I will work on next before I work on the surrounding areas. And then what I probably will do is work out a little diorama type base and maybe a tree or something like that. I have the idea of using a couple of death troopers that are keeping guard, you know, while the bog standard stormtroopers do all the work. And what I also needed to tell you was there's 2 faces. You've got bits left over to make a second face, but it's a bit smiley and a bit happy really, and I prefer this one. Right, I better get on with it and see what I can actually do to house this Stormy a bit better. So this is what I've come up with so far. The idea is I don't know who's put them in there, the stormtrooper I guess, has put like a little winchy type thing in there under the lid. He's inside still, the light still lights up. I have got like a little hinge brackety there, but it doesn't really work that well. But the idea is there's enough room in there for the light. We've got a stormtrooper there and he's taking a breather. I reckon he's on prison duty or something like that, so I don't know whether he really should be drinking. Might do away with his helmet because he probably wouldn't have that if he's on prisoner duty. He's got the pickaxe there, and he's got the way in and out of the pumpkin, which is this rope. So I'm not sure whether this will stay like this or whether I find a different alternative to having the lid part up like that, but at the moment it's working pretty well for me. So unless I find something better, I will continue on with the next part of it. So this is my first make of a tree trunk, and it's not bad, but what I want to do is make it curving over more. Just knock that off. I only put that on there just to see how it look. But yeah, I really want to make it lean one way, so I might knock the top half down and go try and make it lean a bit more. I mean, it's not bad, I'm not unhappy with it completely, but I just had in mind a bit more of a curvy leaning tree, so I wonder whether I regret knocking this apart. Actually, what I might do is put some leaves on it, see how it looks, and then if I'm not happy with it, take it apart. Yeah, let me do that and I'll come back to you. I've kept the tree in the end and added all this foliage of different types to it. I'm quite happy with it, I think. It's I know it wasn't the leaning tree I wanted, but it has kind of worked. I'm adding bits as I go, including these tentacly bits everywhere. Got a nice little bat there. And yeah, all these nice railings which give it a gothic-y type look. And lots of these bits were actually found in that VIP pack. I've only opened one, that's all I needed. Pumpkin's hollowed out, as you can see, and I'm working on, well, hollowing it out even more and making sure that all the sides fit together, including these bits, because I've had to take some of these away, so I don't have a yellow one that attaches to both sides, so a white one will have to do. And as you can see, I'm working on the back of the base. I'm building it up like this because what I am planning are some steps. Steps go like that, down there and leading up. That's how far I've got at the moment at the front. It's a bit more detailed than the back embankment, but it should be all right once I get it going. It's the first type of little display I've done like this with a cobble type step, so I'm enjoying it bit by bit, building it up. I will crack on with it. Hopefully the next update should be finish or close to finish. We'll see. After 2 days of building, this little Star Wars pumpkin MOC ready for Halloween is finally finished. And I've got to say, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It's turned out quite a bit better than I thought it would, actually, because I didn't really have a plan, apart from the fact I knew that I wanted a stormtrooper inside digging it out, and the rest just come together over a bit of time, really, as I was building it. The tree, yeah, I had that in mind. The gravel path, nope. Maybe the base, as in the diorama type thing, but the rest of it just come from my mind as I was going. I'm wondering how long this light is going to last, depending on how many times I push it, I guess. But the bracket underneath the button or above the light brick itself was provided in white, then it would have made absolute sense to provide it in yellow to match inside of the pumpkin. So I'm wondering whether they don't actually make that bracket in yellow. That pumpkin there, I'll take this off to have a closer look. This is from the VIP packs, obviously, so I opened one of them in the end, and I think there were 3 pumpkins. But I put it on this door and added it to this tree, and it just sort of seemed to work. It's not really doing anything. A lot of these hard to find colour foliage pieces all come from Legoland, Germany, so that was quite the find at the right time to build this. Apart from these spiky bits, the twiggy bits that stick up, and I had 3 of them and I used all 3 of those. In my earlier clips I had a rope hanging over the side. I thought of a ladder in the first instance, didn't think it looked very good, so I tried the rope. I wasn't happy with the rope, so I took the rope out and added this ladder. It's obviously got that little hinge bracket that I took out one of those sand green slopes for, and it seems to fit up against the side of the pumpkin perfectly, and he can jump in between the gap between the lid and the body. So it just, another thing that just worked. I had never built a cobble, earthy, stony type path before, but I started building up with slopes and rocks. Yeah, the base took some time. It's pretty fragile. I'm not very good at building stable models yet. Maybe that will take some time. Maybe I should lift it up and show you. A little bit of a hodgepodge under there, but as you can see, mostly plates, just all wedged in there. It's actually a little bit less plate than I usually use on my MOCs. Oh, there are some brick. Oh, they're the slope bricks, and one stabilising bit in the middle there. I'm quite happy with how the base actually turned out, being such an odd shape, and tiling some off was quite satisfying, especially around here. This was the only bit that maybe I wasn't the most happy with. I had all these, well, I say all these, there's not that many. I had these slopes in interesting colours. I never wanted to use any lightish greens. I wanted it to be all the interesting, high, expensive colours of greens, like sand green, olive green, dark green, and bluish, dark bluish grey. But yeah, that's just standard for any build, I think. But the idea was that the back, it's not much on show. It's not the point of view most people see it from, so it needs to be neat and tidy, but it isn't going to be the main showstopper, which hopefully is the front. Let's talk about this storyline. The idea is that there's two stormtroopers, and they are maybe defectors, maybe something else, maybe just enemies of the Empire, let's say. And the Death Troopers are meting out their punishment. One guy is digging away in here, and yeah, it still lights up. You can see him from certain angles. You can see his pickaxe that he stuck through the eye. But if I move it round this way, there he is. He's looking out through the window, hoping the Death Troopers will toddle off, get lost, but they won't. They're there for the long haul to mete out their rough justice. So he's digging out the pumpkin. I'm not sure who for. Haven't really thought that far ahead in the storyline. And the other stormtrooper has already had his final justice from the tree there. That took me some time to work out, because there's various ways of hanging a minifigure by the tree. So that was the one I come up with. Rope on a stud each end, with the rope in the middle. That's the best way of describing that. They've left their stormtrooper helmets down there because you want to see the faces and it looks more dramatic like this. I guess that's the end of those stormtroopers, and that's what happens. The whole idea is it's meant to be scary, so maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Believe it or not, this is the favourite part of the MOC for me. These are wrought iron railings, and this one here on the edge of the tree has been pushed out of alignment by the tree growing, and obviously a tentacle growing through it. There's also a tentacle just there, and that's starting to come into this side. So this, again, why it's a happy accident is because it doesn't actually fit on the studs properly. It just sort of nestles them at the side. Look, I can't push it back. So the tentacle, or the root tentacle, whatever you want to call it, keeps it there properly, but it's not making proper connection with the studs to push it down and flat, which is fine because that's how I wanted it. I couldn't have made it any more better if I tried. The tree I wasn't going to keep. I wasn't sure. I wanted a bit more of a leany type tree, but then I thought, actually, I can work with this. It's quite nice. So I wasn't happy with this tree originally before the leaves were on, because I wanted it to be more leaning right over the pumpkin. but I didn't want to actually destroy it and take it all apart anyway. It just so I come to terms with it, and I'm quite enjoying it now. I think the foliage made all the difference, actually. The colours of all the different, well, all the different colours made a big difference. I wasn't unhappy with how I created the tree. I used the right sort of amount of different types of bricks to give it a not a similar look anywhere. And yeah, I think it's all right. It's looking good. The idea is it's a spooky tree, half dead in places and thriving in other places. It's got lots of secrets. It's got these old school seaweedy pieces. I remember these from the very first time coming on the Naboo swamp back in maybe 2000, something like that. If you remember, I used VIP packs. Now, I only used one in the end because I only needed one, really. There were 3 pumpkins in there, and I thought that was enough for this MOC. If I take this out and show you what I did, this little window also come in that VIP pack, and I had that sort of area left, the 2 studs sticking up like that, and rather than putting another slope in there and finishing it off with that detail, I thought, I wonder whether I can use this window. So I put that there, and then a slope and the pumpkin on there, because I thought, well, why not? It's decoration. It could be a secret door to somewhere. I mean, obviously we know it doesn't go anywhere. There's nothing behind it. I think it's a nice bit of decoration and gives the tree even more interest. Other things that give this tree interest are the fungi. I mean, the grey flowers, I think they're fungi, and that's how I've put them as. This tentacle is my favourite piece, actually, of the fungi. I just think it's a really cool piece that can be growing there. Looks a bit menacing, if fungi can look menacing. We've also got Mr. Bat hiding around the back there. We've also got one red apple. So maybe it was an apple tree at one point. Maybe it's a poison apple. I don't know. It come in the VIP pack, and I thought, well, why not use it? Gives a bit of interest to the back area. Other things that come in that VIP pack are these orange leaves, the yellow leaves, all the foliage from Legoland, Germany. I had 3 of these spiky brown bits which are holding things in place, and they just give the tops a little bit of something to finish off the tops, really. The orange tops anyway. And then I mixed those colours in, but sort of kept them all in a group anyway, just to help it look like it's got certain life with certain colours at certain times, I guess. The gravel path is meant to be sort of gravel, cobbled, stones, bits of dirt mixed in, bits of weedy bits, as you can see. Weedy bits, a few bits here and there. And I wanted the main base green colour to be the dark green, so I've left a bit more exposed over here and mixed, obviously, like I said to you earlier, those other greens in amongst everything, really. Mr. Spider, I wasn't sure whether I was going to get the web in there to look quite good, and I think I have. Between the railings and the tree, with the spider in the middle there like that. I may well give this as a little present to my son for his house for Halloween, because I think it needs to go in amongst other Halloween things so people can appreciate Star Wars and Halloween together. So hopefully you like this little video of the pumpkin and its little side build and storyline. Like and subscribe if you like this and want to see more from me very soon. Thanks very much, one and all. Cheers.